came for. I know Nadia said earlier that this is pretty much a dish and we're serving you guys, and I'm telling you this is the best part that you all came for. My name is Slieta Hodge. I'm the vice chairman of, one of the vice chairmen of SCORE Atlanta, along with Mr. Jason Guitar, who you guys heard from earlier. And then we have Eddie Murphy, not the actor. He's somewhere in here. I don't know if he wants to show his hand or maybe step out. But I'm one of the vice chairmen here. So guys, I listened to some of you earlier. Some of you came in. A lot of you have experience. You're experts in your field. And some of you are in the startup phases. But you all came out no matter how much knowledge you had. And I commend you for that. And I think you guys should give yourself a round of applause. It's a new year, 2019, and what better way to start off by getting yourself empowered, getting the information you need, getting the resources you need so that you can make this one of the best years. I know we say that every year, but this could very well be your best year. So thank you so much for coming out here to get the information that you need. So we have a few experts up here as well, and they're going to be sharing some information. I'm going to be asking them some questions. I'll have them introduce themselves to you, and I'll start with Ms. Madalena Rosa, and she is from Wells Fargo. If you can introduce yourself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me today. Again, my name is Madalena Rosa. Sorry, I'm not in my voice. But I'm a senior business specialist with Wells Fargo. There's not a lot to say about Wells Fargo or what we do because you guys already know that. But I know there's a lot of sometimes publicity that is good and some publicity that is not that good. But I wanted to take the opportunity to let you know that Wells Fargo is 100% committed to small business and the community. I don't have the numbers for 2018, but on 2017, we gave over $250 million to nonprofit organizations. We provide a lot of products and services, but we do have a lot of things that are for free for small businesses. We have a website that is called wellsfargoworks.com. There's a lot of resources how to create a business plan. Actually, it will take you to you guys. About intelligent tools, about looking for your competitors, about how to establish credit on your business side. So there's a lot of resources. So my work as a business specialist is that I look at your operating cycle to see where can I identify opportunity or maybe needs, and then I can make recommendations. I'm not there to sell anything. There might be more things that are advice that can help you grow your business. So thank you so much for having me today.
Okay, great. And now, thank you so much for sharing that. So now we have Mr. Barry Coates. He's the director, actually the district manager for SBA. So for SCORE. Sorry. So he'll go ahead and introduce himself.
All right. Thank you, Slieta. Good morning, everybody. Again, it's just good morning. Yes, as Slieta said, my name is Barry Coates. I serve as the district director for SCORE in Georgia, which sounds a very elevated title, doesn't it? But my salary grade is exactly the same as everybody else's, 0. I'm hoping for a big increase next year. I've been a mentor as well as working in the administration side of SCORE, so I've worked with a lot of clients when I first joined the organization about 6 years ago. And there are two main areas that people come to see us about. One is about business plans and the marketing and strategies, things like that. The other one is money. They want to know where they can get money to start their business or how they're going to finance their dream and so on. Obviously, there are a number of answers to that question, but I think the money side of it is so important because without a preliminary maybe some assistance from a SCORE mentor or someone else, a lot of people do not have a very good idea of how much money they're going to need to start their business. They may think their business is fairly simple. They're going to maybe sell items over the internet out of their homes. But they haven't really thought about all the costs that go into setting up a business, establishing a business, and getting the business operating before you receive $1 in revenue. So the kind of things we like to talk to our clients about are startup costs. What is it going to cost you to actually get into this business? How much money are you going to have to spend up front? Just on things like business licenses, on setting up your identity, printing materials, setting up your website. All those kind of things are going to cost you money. Laying in inventory before you start your business, that's going to cost you some money as well. All before you receive $1. And then you have to operate your business during the first couple of years of its life, and your business may lose money for the first 6 months or the first 9 months because you have expenses before your operating revenues climb to the point where they're covered. So do you have enough money to cover those expenses during that first introductory period? So those are the kind of things we get exposure to in SCORE. Some people are looking for grants. They seem to believe that the SBA has a lot of grant money that they're looking to give anyone who wants to start a business. Unfortunately, that's not true. You are going to have to find the funds yourself, and there are various ways to do that, which I'm sure we'll talk about today. But as I say, it's one of the main subjects that people want to talk about usually when they come to see their SCORE mentor. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Mary. And next we'll have Ms. Stephanie Bolden from the LIFT Fund. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Stephanie Bolden, and I'm the Senior Business Development Officer with LIFT Fund. LIFT Fund has been around since 1994, but we got our start back in San Antonio, Texas. And now we're in 13 states, Southeast locations, and Georgia's our newest office that we opened back in 2016 in June. And my job is to spread the word, basically to let individuals know that there is access to capital for startups as well as expanding businesses. So we work with banks as a second look option. Basically, when you go to a bank or to some other resource partners of ours and you're looking for financing and you're not quite sure of how to obtain that, they may refer you to us because if you get denied at the bank will refer you to us so that we can take a second look at your idea. So the individuals that may come to us may have a credit score of 550. They will be in the initial startup stage, so that means they have not made any money in their business. So oftentimes, what is your option? That's where we come in. So we work with you, and we're able to give you the financing. Our loans start at $500. They go up to $250,000. And we have special programs available right now, especially for veterans and minority females. It's a 5% fixed interest loan up to $50,000. We do not have any prepayment penalties, so you can pay us back without any penalty of additional interest or anything. So that's really good help. There is no application fee, and you apply online. That's at www.liftfund.com. And I always encourage individuals to come to me first. Before you do that, I have my information over there, and you can just give me a call so that we can set up a one-to-one meeting so that we can know if it's a good fit for you, because each business is different, and we want to make sure that we're on the same track. So, and I'm not going to tell you everything right now.
Thanks for sharing. Next we have Ms. Kimberly Knight from the Georgia Department of Economic Development. Now we're going to hear a bit more from her later, but I'm just going to have her introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here and see all these beautiful faces, all these strong women and smart men in the room. Smart women, of course, that goes without saying. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about my agency. We're probably one of the best kept secrets in state government. It is a state government agency, and really what we do is market Georgia to the rest of the world. Whether it's as a tourism destination, the through Explore Georgia, whether it's through our international trade office, global commerce, which our trade office is part of, and my office, which is the Entrepreneur and Small Business Office. We are out every day marketing Georgia as a state to do business, to come and enjoy, as a tourist, to grow commerce and sales and revenues for this state. That is what we do, and in terms of the small business space and the Entrepreneur and Small Business Office, what we do is navigate you to the right resource. Luckily for you, most of the people that I would navigate you toward are in this room. This is one of the best offerings I've seen in a conference or workshop of the resources that are here. And because everybody's here, everybody's here. And a few others because of the government shutdown, or else they would definitely have been here. But the only thing I want to say before we get into this is make sure you utilize the folks that are in this room. And I think the part that I play in all of this, because a lot of people ask me, like, what do y'all do? Like, really? Again, I'm the glorified traffic director. If you're stuck, you've heard a lot of stuff today. You've heard so much today. And if your SCORE mentor, you can't get SCORE on the phone, which you probably can, and will, but just in the event you want an extra resource to bounce things off of, or to say, which way should I go? Now, what was that resource again? That's where I come in. We're just two people covering 159 counties and all the municipalities that are underneath that. But we have very good contacts within any city, county. If you want to say, I want to go work in Raven County, I got a project up there that I want to do, and I think there's opportunity in Raven County, well, I can call Ray up there in Raven County, and because I know the economic developers. That's what we do, and that's the part that we play in helping small businesses and entrepreneurs in the state.
Great, thanks for sharing that. So now we're gonna go a little deeper, because I know a lot of you, I heard the conversations, and you all have one question in common. Of course, you wanna learn about how to run your business, how to market your business, how to get the business plan written, but you have one question in common, and that is, where is the money, and how can I get that money in my pocket, well, at least your company's pocket, so you can let your personal pockets. But you have that one question, and we're gonna get to the meat of it so that you can have those answers. So, and I'll pass those questions to you guys, and you can answer them as whoever feels like you can cover that part. The first question is, are there any grants for small businesses?
Like I mentioned before, Wells Fargo is huge on grants. 2017, they provided over $250 million. Non-profit organizations that are outcome-driven are the best qualified for those grants, and also businesses that are on education can get a lot of grants. So one way to look it up, you can Google Wells Fargo and then grants, and you're gonna get that page, and they are gonna explain to you how can you apply for those grants.
Okay, great. Anyone else have
In state government, there are no grants for small businesses. What I have seen is that there are a lot of corporate foundations, a lot of corporations like the Sarah Blake Foundation, who's the owner of Spanx. She has a foundation. There are a lot of corporate entities will have those programs. I think last year FedEx had a grant opportunity that was available. So the thing that you need to do is make sure that you are scouring the landscape. And the ways that I've seen a lot of information be disseminated is via LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I think you're doing yourself a huge disservice as a business owner and in a professional period, because there's so much good information that comes across LinkedIn, even from these organizations. Like a lot of ways I find out about what's going on, and even in the entrepreneur and small business landscape, and I'm plugged in, is something will pop up on my LinkedIn feed. And a lot of the millennials, I think, of course, will use Twitter and all the other social mediums. If you're not socially linked in on these different platforms, you're really doing yourself a great disservice, because so much good information flows through those mechanisms. So again, I know that Sarah Blakely Foundation has a grant. Macy's, I think, even has some type of program. A lot of the corporate entities, their foundations will have opportunities, so make sure you're looking out for those. And a lot of them are industry specific, and some of them are not, but some of them are industry specific.
Okay, great. Anyone else?
As a lending institution, we provide term loans, but that 5% is pretty good.
The only thing I would add is that most small businesses are not going to be not-for-profit. And so if you're going to run a for-profit business, if you're going to sell items on the internet or open a beauty supply store and so on, your chances of getting a grant, I think, are close to zero. You really should be thinking about what's your best source of a loan. But the idea that there are massive grants out there to help people get into business is unfortunately not true. Wouldn't it work?
And I'm glad that you pointed that out, because I think when a lot of the mentees come to SCORE, the first question is, hey, I have a business, I'm a woman, or I'm a minority, how can I get a grant for my business? It's close to, it's a very slim. You're better off utilizing, I believe someone said this earlier, you start with the resources that you have so we can direct you, and start with the free resources. That's what Nadia says. Because a lot of times, yes, money is important, but there are a lot of other resources you can utilize, and it's not in the form of monetary resources. So utilize those resources as well. So now that we cleared the grant part out of the way,
I can add one more thing to that. The foundations, though, typically do require, they're not for startups, let's just say that. A lot of them are not for starting, they're for expanding an already up and running business. So I'm glad you said that, so we could clarify a lot of those. And they are for-profit businesses. They're the grants that I'm talking about are for-profits, but they are for businesses that are already established.
is that the same for Wells Fargo and whatever grants you guys have available?
It's not for non-profit organization, but if you have an organization for profit and it's a educational, yes, we can provide transfer courses.
Okay, great, thanks for clarifying that. Now, the next question, going to the loan part. A lot of people come and they need their business plans written up, and they have questions about the process, the loan process. So any comments on like the loan application process? What should they expect? What should they do to get ready before they come to you? Besides go to SCORE, of course, and then we will.
Yeah. What I would recommend is for planning. Don't just go crazy and go to the website and start applying for loans online, because that can damage your credit. So make sure that you have a plan in place. At the timing, for example, if you file bankruptcy, yeah, maybe that's not the best time for you to apply for a loan. So make sure that you take care of your credit. I know, like you mentioned, maybe credit on that side is not that important, right? But on the financial institution, they are going to look at your consumer credit. So you might, if you went on vacation, you have the credit card all the way up, maybe that is not also, the time to apply for the loan. So make sure that you take care of that credit, the consumer credit, because if you don't have the business credit, they are going to look at the consumer credit at first. So make sure that it's very strong. And on the other side, I also recommend you just know your numbers. Like somebody mentioned before, make a list of the items or machines or equipment that you are going to need. You don't want to get more of what you need or less, because that can cause financial harm to your business later on. So make sure that you know the numbers, how much exactly you need, and also, when you're sending the application, make sure that you know your sales gross income. If you don't know how much money you make, that's going to be a problem, because if the loan comes back and they say, well, you need to provide some type of income verification, and that's not going to match maybe with your taxes. So if you, like I said before, planning is so important. If you're planning to get a loan, make sure that when you file the taxes, you have some profit there, because if you have like a lot of losses, the chances of the financial institution, you might not So two things that financial institutions are looking. They want to know what are you gonna do with the money? And the second piece is, can you pay me back?
Yeah, I agree with everything Madeline says. You're going to need a business plan when you go in to talk about a loan. And I think this scares a lot of our clients because they've never written a business plan and they don't know what a business plan even looks like when it's finished. Go to a website called bplans.com. 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 They have, this is a service that writes business plans for you. I'm not suggesting you employ them, but they have hundreds and hundreds of business plans there for you to look at. Again, I'm not advocating plagiarism either, but you can see the format of these business plans, how they're laid out. They're for all different industries. Chances are there's one for an industry similar to yours. So have a look at those business plans. That's what a business plan looks like. And as Madeline said, the lender wants to see the plan because he or she wants to know, do you understand your business? Do you really understand what you're going to do and how it's going to work and who's going to do what and what functions each person will play? Are your assumptions realistic? They'll want to see about 3 years of financial projections, assuming we're talking about a startup here. But 3 years of projections, in other words, as Madeline said, if I lend you this money, how soon can you pay me back? So if you're going to take in figures that show that you're going to lose money for the next 3 years, the lender's not going to be very confident about lending you money. There are templates available to you on the SCORE website, on the SBA website. You can use these templates to write your business plan, and the SCORE mentor can help you navigate these if you want. But you need a business plan, and it must be written by you. Don't buy one of these canned ones where you simply put your business name in the blanks. Because if the lender looks at your plan and says, what is this number here on page 3? And you look over his shoulder and say, yeah, what is that number? Just lost your loan, right? Because it clearly isn't your work. So, as I said, you need to understand and know the background of every figure in your plan so that the lender can have confidence that you know what you're doing, your assumptions are reasonable, and your plan projects that you will be able to pay the money back within a reasonable period of time.
All right. Also, when you're considering a loan, your credit is essential. And it's going to be your personal credit, especially if you're a startup. And even existing business, I'm looking at your personal credit. Keep in mind that in Georgia, you have access to your credit report twice a year through annualcreditreport.com. And I always encourage my clients to go to that first. I don't want to be the one to tell you what's on your credit. You need to check that before you apply for any loan, apply for a job, get insurance. You need to know what's there. Also, we want to consider that business license. When you get it, you need a business license to apply for business loan. You know. But it's important that you know who you're partnering with. Say, for instance, I've had individuals to get a license and they put their mother on there. Mother has no association with the business, but she's on there. If she's on there, she's required to be on our loan. So keep in mind who's on your business plan. They're not just there to be a secretary, just to get rid of or something like that. If that person is on your business plan, business license, it's for us, we think that an individual is a part of your business. So you need to make sure that that is clear. And also, we look at your, when it comes to your finances. Yes, it definitely matters what you're reporting to IRS, what's in your bank account. If you're saying, well, let's go to your bank account first. If you're saying that you're making $2,000 a month, if you're not depositing that money, you didn't make $2,000 a month. I have to be able to track that information because my underwriter's not going to take my word for it. If it's not on paper, it didn't happen. And with the taxes, when we're looking at that, we want to see that the business is profitable. Even $1 is better than nothing. And keep in mind that we can actually put something back that if it's a one-time cost for you, if say equipment purchase, that was only one time, we understand certain situations. But if your business is constantly losing money, that's not a good diversification. We don't want to invest in a business that's losing. And what else do we look at? Collateral. Now we want to. You have to have something in the game. Now you can't expect us to invest in you if you're not willing to invest in your own business. So I've had people to come to me and say, "Oh, I need a loan, but I don't have any money saved. I have not put anything towards this. I want you to finance everything." You have to have some money set aside or where that you can verify through bank accounts. That is there. Or you have shown me receipts where you've already invested in this business. Because, like I said, if you're not willing to invest, and when it comes to collateral, this could be equipment that you purchase for the business, and what we can use as collateral is equipment you purchase or equipment that you plan to purchase. We can take that into account. And we can also use, well, I'm not gonna go into a whole lot with that, but collateral is required on the business.
Wells Fargo has the SBA loan, which I'm not going to be talking about those, but we do have the unsecured Wells Fargo loans. The unsecured, you don't really need a business plan, but you need to have like a strong relationship and strong credit and strong application. You can get, if you submit the application today, you can get those funds, probably in maybe 2 business days sometime. If they come asking for more documents, so it might take a little bit longer depending on how long it takes. But just make sure that when you put anything on the application, you have the proof in case that they come asking you, can you show me your tax and financial documents as well. But it's not secure, they will not take anything out if you don't pay, but you have to be strong candidate for that.
Okay, great. I'm glad that you touched on that. And I wanted to ask this question because it came up a couple times a while ago. What happens if I borrow money and I can't pay it back? Because month 6, my business went down, things didn't work out, my partner stepped out, they said they were going to do this. What happens?
So on the unsecured loan, nothing really happened because it was not secured. I don't know if they will go after you, they will file, I don't know if they will go to court, they will file a judgment against you, I don't know. I know that if it's a secure loan, they can go after your collateral. So, yes.
So the equipment or anything, money,
Whatever it is attached to that one.
Well, this is, of course, one of the strong arguments for going for an SBA-approved lender and getting an SBA loan where a large part of the loan is going to be guaranteed. So if you go to, if you know how much money you need, you can go to the SBA website, go to a program they call Lender Match now. It used to be called Link, Leveraging Income, and yeah, it's an old acronym anyway. The new program is called Lender Match, and they will try and line you up with a lender who specializes in your kind of loan, in your kind of industry, and so on. If you do get approved for an SBA loan, that's covered up to, 85% or something like that. So that makes lenders feel pretty good, because if you're approved for an SBA loan, 85% of that loan will be paid back, and that obviously makes the lender feel a lot more confident.
Keep in mind, though, we do provide SBA loans as well. So where collateral is not required 100%. However, we're going to try to recoup that 15% before, because that's a requirement. Well, SBA wants us to go after our collateral as well. So it's not unsecured. We don't have an unsecured product. We do have some products where if your credit is really, really strong and your capacity is really strong, we will do a blanket lien on it where that would be considered unsecured in our sense. But that's the closest thing we have to that. But yes, if you do take out a loan with us, we are going to pursue collections, because it's a legal document that you sign. And in essence, we've already fulfilled our obligation by giving you your funds. So we're going to try to recoup our money. But, we're gonna try different steps such as collections, and then if need be, we may have repossession actions and things like that for collateral.
I just add a side point. We always recommend if you can self-finance your new business, and I know that's often not possible. If there are sources within your family, if you can borrow $1,000 from your Auntie Susan and another couple of thousands from your Uncle Fred, these are great ways to finance your business. But one thing I would urge, make sure you have these agreements in writing, even if they're with your closest uncle, your favorite aunt, or your best friend. We've seen a number of situations where money was lent between friends, and a couple of years down the road, the friends are no longer friends, and the friends come back and demand their money back. So if you don't have something in writing that this was a gift, or this was they did not expect to get money back, or they did not ask for money back for at least 5 years, you could end up in trouble. So if you can finance within your family, that's great, but even with close friends and relatives, have something in writing which specifies under what terms that money was made available to.
Something, yeah. Sometimes the right way would be to go through the business side, of course, to get a loan. But sometimes people go through the consumer side and they can get unsecured loan. If you state on the application that it's going to be for a business, they are not going to approve that. But sometimes, you can ask, hey, I'm going to need an unsecured loan, maybe for a large item or purchase. And then that might be an opportunity that way as well. And because it's unsecured, they will not come after any collateral.
So for those loans where they actually, I guess this will be the security where you guys are looking more into details on, their background. When they present a business plan to you, and I'm sure a lot of you have this question, which section of the plan do you guys spend the most time on? Is it the financial section? What are you guys looking at?
We're looking at the overall business plan. We want to make sure that you have a good concept of what you're getting involved in. It is key that we understand who is going to be involved in that business, what the roles of each individual is. Do you have the experience to operate this business? Because the last thing we want to do is to give a loan to someone who just enjoys eating donuts to open a donut shop. We want to make sure that you have that level of experience. So we're going to look at that business plan for that. And then we go into the financials after we make sure that you've got that good idea out of the way and you know where you're going to be, and that you've done the market analysis to make sure that you're going to make money in that area. Then I look at your financials to see, did you put down the right amount? Did you say that I'm going to sell 200 donuts to pay the rent this month? Have you done that? And if it makes sense, then that really helps us to make a good determination if this is going to be a good fit, as long as the credit passes.
I think it's worth bearing in mind that the lender typically may not have a lot of experience in your particular business. So when they look at your business plan, the kind of questions they're going to be asking is, does this seem like a reasonable assumption? So for example, I had a client come to see me a few years ago, and she was going to open a Christian-themed gift and bookstore. And I asked her she told me about this store, and it sounded very exciting. And I said, please do a financial projection for me. And I would expect a financial projection to start off with low sales, right? She's brand new, and then gradually the sales would increase, and maybe by the end of the year she had reached a certain level. She came back with a plan that showed that she was going to have $50,000 in sales every month for 3 years. Oh. So month one, $50,000. Month two, $50,000. Now, I don't know anything about Christian-themed bookstores, but does that sound like a reasonable assumption to you? The answer is no. I would expect your sales to grow like they would with every other business. So, what are your assumptions? the lender will want to know what assumptions are you making. A growth rate of 25% a year is probably unreasonable. But a growth rate of 5 or 10% a year, yes, I can believe that. So remember, the person looking at your business plan is not an expert in your industry probably, so they'll be starting to ask questions. What would a reasonable person expect this business to achieve in its first year, in its second year? And use that as a guide.
So because we don't look at the business plan for unsecured loan, it's going to be more on past history. So the credit is the past history. The computer automatically is going to look to see if you are making a deposit, what is the relationship, what is the score. They're going to look at the 5C, which is credit, capability, collateral, if there's a collateral, if you have money on the account, what else? Credit, condition. But like I said before, it has to be strong credit, strong relationship. You need to, if you don't have that relationship with Wells Fargo, it's okay. If you're banking with Bank of America, for example, or SunTrust, you can provide that documentation that you remember what the Wells Fargo financial institution wants to see is whether or not you can repay back. So that's it. So if you're not making any deposit on the account, it's zero. If you don't have any balance or it's $10 and you are applying for a $100,000 loan,
So can you tell us a little bit about the approval rates of small business loans, but not just that? Are there any industries that you generally just kind of like, it's in the startup phase, I don't want, it's too much risk? If you have any industries like that that you guys shy away from?
so one of the 5C is capacity, but also, like she said, conditions. And based on the industry, Wells Fargo already know, most of the financial institutions, the type of risk that that company is going to have. So when we are submitting an application, they already know it's a restaurant, they already know it's the, truck company, so they already are calculating a little bit about the level of risk. Restaurants are very risky. If you see today, you can see a restaurant today and tomorrow it might not be there. So yeah, they will take care of it. They will look at that.
As far as industries that we are not able to service would be those associated with the SBA as well, such as the buying and selling of real estate. We're not able to provide loans for that, nor are we able to, then we're not able to provide adult entertainment loans for that, nor can we provide gaming or other lending institutions. So those are the types of industries that we're not able to provide loans.
Pretty much, what's the rate of, for like the small businesses, the rate of approval? Do you have any information on that?
As far as the percentage of loans that apply,
Yeah.
Well, right now we're new to this market, so we have been getting quite an influx of applications. So, but what we would say, I guess maybe around 35% of the applications are getting approved. And then in those instances where they're not getting approved, we provide them with what is it called? A business plan or a game plan. That's what it's called. A game plan to come back to us. We tell them what went wrong and what they need to work on so they can get a yes from us in the future.
Just a quick comment on that. At a number of our SCORE training sessions, we have invited along bankers who process SBA loans or loan applications, and we've asked them, what are the typical reasons that you would reject a loan application? What's the most common reasons? And what always comes back is basically unrealistic assumptions. Unrealistic assumptions in terms of how quickly you're going to become profitable, how many products you're going to sell in months 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In particular unrealistic assumptions about the competition. A lot of people believe that their business is so unique that they don't have competitors. And believe me, whatever business you're going to go into, there will be someone providing that servicing that market now. Maybe not in the same way that you will, but they'll be servicing that market. So the question you have to answer for the lender is, why the customers today that are going to these other suppliers or other manufacturers, why would they leave and come to me? You have to come up with a reasonable explanation. Is it because you're cheaper? Is it because your customer service is better? Is it because your quality is higher? What are the reasons people are going to switch from their current suppliers and buy from you?
Can you guys share a little bit, because I know some people have questions about lender match. My diagram. Can you share a little bit of information, like exactly what is lender match and how that applies?
I'm not an expert on lender match, but it's, as I say, it's a new tool offered by the SBA. You simply go into the lender match, you put in your personal information, you describe the kind of a business that you're going to set up, a restaurant or a beauty supply store or a mechanics business, and they will recommend lenders who specialize in that kind of industry or have an interest in that kind of industry. So lenders tend to do that. Some will maybe lend to real estate loans, others will lend to restaurants or transportation businesses. They'll try and match you with a lender in your general area who has a history of lending to the kind of industry that you want to get into. It's not a guarantee. They're not guaranteeing you a loan, but they're saying, hey, your best bet in terms of making a loan application is to apply to lender A, lender B, or lender C. It's as simple as that. It's a good tool. That is free.
Okay, I didn't recognize the name as lender match, because that's
Change. It used to be called Think.
yeah, because that's what I'm used to, the big things. Okay, and for us, we do get, as an SBA provider, we do get a list of individuals that may, when they go to the SBA, they put in their profile, and then we would get their contact information, and you usually get several lenders that will call you to let you know about their programs, to see if you're interested in financing with their organization. So that's what that really is. It's just basically like a match for a lender based on what you put into your profile as to what you're looking for your business.
Okay, great. Now, Barry, can you share a little bit with them on exactly what SBA guarantee loans are?
Well, I guess the only reason I'm an expert on this is because I've driven more than 40 miles to get here today, right? Is that a definition of an expert? More than 40 miles away. I'm really not an expert on SBA loans. There should be an SBA person, but I was saying to Nadia, it's a good metaphor for life, that you organize a conference like this and the SBA doesn't show up, and so you have to adopt, adapt, and improvise. And that's exactly what will happen to you in your business. It will, a year from now, you'll say, wow, I didn't think my business was going to look like this, or I didn't think it'd be going in this direction, so you need to change. SBA loans, there are a whole range of them. I knew I would be asked this question, so I printed them off this morning. So I simply went to the SBA, SBA.gov website, and you just type in loan programs. They have a whole bunch of loans. Their most common loan is the 7A loan, but every one of their programs has a maximum amount. It has the guarantee, what the loan can be used for. 7As are pretty flexible. They can be used for just about anything. And it'll tell you how long the loan period is, what kind of fees, who qualifies, and so on. So if you're interested in the SBA loan program, simply go to the website, SBA loans, and if you print off a chart like this, there's actually 2 pages of it. Stop dropping them on the floor. And the 2 loans that have been mentioned are 7A and the 504. The 504 loan is for capital assets. So if you're looking to buy a building or a large piece of machinery or equipment, maybe a couple of trucks for a parcel delivery service or something, probably that would be a 504 loan. But again, I'm not an expert. All the information is on their website. I urge you to go there and check it out.
Okay, great. Anyone else want to say something or comment?
Something that I want to mention is that we do have a whole division for those of you that are on the medical field, practice finance, depend on family that they have their dentist or any type of MD. We provide 100% financing, and we have a huge section that is just for practice financing. Even somebody who just graduated from med school, they can get 100% loan with even no money. So there's a lot of resources, and I recommend for you guys to explore that as well if you know anybody. We do provide lines of credit. I know everybody's talking about loans, but lines of credit are really good as well. The great thing about the line of credit that you might apply for a $50,000 line of credit or something like that, and you might not need the 50. You might need only 10, or maybe later on you might need, a little bit more. So you will be paying out of that money that you are taking. You're not gonna pay out of the whole amount just like a loan. So a lot of people also come, they say, maybe a line might be a situation, I'm gonna need just a little bit money until I get paid back. So after you get paid back, what will you do with the money? You will put it back on the line of credit. So you will always have that revolving line of credit. So if December you get very busy, you have a lot of invoices, account receivable and payable, but then maybe January is very slow. So you might want to consider maybe a line of credit might be a second alternative.
Great, thanks for answering that. So before we go into the questions that you guys sent in, I'm gonna ask one more question. Factoring, can any of you comment on that and share a little bit on factoring?
Well, it depends does everybody know what factoring is? Essentially, it's selling your receivables. So in other words, if you have a bunch of money that's owed to you, people are going to pay you in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever terms have been agreed, but you don't have that money right now. You need that money right now. You can approach various organizations who will basically buy those receivables from you. Now, they won't pay you full price, obviously, so if you're owed $100,000, they might offer you, I don't know, $80,000 or something, so that you will have $80,000 cash as opposed to $100,000 3 to 6 months down the road. That there might be a situation where that's useful to you, and it might be helpful to you because it's easier to have someone else collect these receivables than having you do it yourself. But it's not something that we would necessarily recommend, but it is an option available if you need money in the short term.
Okay, great. Glad you touched on that. Now, can you tell us a little bit about, because I know there are different types of funding, that, like you said, they can get a credit card, they can get a secured, unsecured. Some of the pros and cons. So maybe we can start with the cons, because I know sometimes people might go in, like I personally have sent a client in to Wells Fargo, and they thought they needed one type of loan. They came out with a line of credit because they needed more so equipment, and I think that's one of the products that you guys offer.
So one of the things that I would recommend, if you have the opportunity, I know that a lot of us are busy and we don't have time to go to the branch. We go and do the online application, but sometimes we don't really know what we need. We think that we know that, we need the loan, but maybe it's not a loan, maybe it's a credit card, or maybe it's a line. So I would recommend for you to look for a specialist, especially in small business. What I do is just I ask, tell me about the money. What do you need? What is the purpose of the money? Based on that, then I will be making recommendations. If you need the money just because you're going to be purchasing a lot of material, maybe a credit card might be what you need. Maybe we can give you a credit card that you can earn at one point, some reward points, like cashback. So at the same time, you are taking advantage of building your credit at the beginning, and also you are using credit. So the line of credit will be more for example, seasonal. To support the cash flow, it's not to buy equipment. Equipment will be something that we recommend to go with the equipment loan. And if you're going to buy a piece of property, that's going to be a real estate. So based on what you need, that's why it's so important to have those conversations, because based on the need, just on the personal side, you're not going to buy a house with a credit card. You're not gonna buy a car with what? With a home loan. So just based on that type of need, that's the, the product service that we are gonna provide to you.
Well, we only offer term loans, but through that term loan, we have a variety of products that we offer, such as if you need working capital or equipment purchase loan, or even the SBA loan. So those are different. And what a term loan basically means is that you get a lump sum, basically, and you can choose to use it towards, not choose, you have to use it towards your business. But you, with working capital, you can use it in a variety of ways, just over your business. With equipment loan, it has to be used strictly to purchase the equipment. In some cases, we purchase it for you, so that we have secure collateral. We basically cut the check to the vendor, and you just pay us as the finance company in that instance. Just to give you a point on our SBA loans, those starts at $35,000, and they go up to the $250,000 and a 10-year term, just to let you know how that works.
All right, thank you very much. So we had a little bit of a mic challenge. One of the mic died, but it's coming alive. So we're working on that. So you all had great questions, and we received a bunch of them. So during the break time, what we did was we categorized your questions. So some of you were wondering about NDA, which is non-disclosure agreement. So you're like, I come to SCORE, I give you all these ideas, or I go to SBTC, and this consultant might go ahead and start their own business with my idea. So as a SCORE mentor, and you can talk to about from your agency's perspective, we all sign a code of ethics. So, and we all have insurance. So if we get, sued for any reason, like, this SCORE mentor gave me this advice and, my business just went bankrupt or something like that. So we are all covered, and we sign the code of ethics. So when we recruit our mentors, this is something that we very much clarify with them, that we follow the code of ethics. So you don't have to worry about coming to us and asking us to sign an NDA. And Barry can also elaborate on that a little bit. So from that angle, I think all the agencies might have the same type of working.
Yes, clearly the code of ethics is something that every SCORE volunteer has to re-sign every year on an annual basis, not to discuss any details about any client, whether it's their finances or specifics about their business plan or anything else. So we take that kind of confidentiality very, very seriously. I still have mentor clients who came to me and wanted me to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and we've explained this to them. But no, we take your information very, very seriously. We do not talk about it. We do not discuss it in groups. It's just between you and your mentor. It's almost a sacred relationship.
The other category of questions that came through was related to the certification. So I'm not sure if Reggie and other certifying agencies are still here, but we can speak to, based on our experience in terms of certifications. So the question was about self-certification. And when you log into, or when you register at SAM.gov, self-certification is you can just check the box that, I'm a small business or I'm a woman-owned business, and that is self-certification. So some of them do just go with that particular type of acknowledgement from the business owner that you are self-certified, but other agencies and other corporations and also governmental agencies, they might require, and as Ebony talked to it in terms of different kinds of certifications that are out there, so you would consider getting certified in those aspects, but that is what self-certification is. The other one that came through was about inventions. So a lot of you, I guess, you all have your creative juices going here, and you have some inventions. So how do we work with inventions? So there is a website called uspto.gov, and we have some, as I mentioned, we have 11,000 mentors. So whoever specializes in that category, whether you want to get your invention patented, or you are in an early phase of your invention and it's an idea, so you want to run it by a SCORE mentor, whatever might be the case, we can help you in those areas and help you realize your dreams. The last category that came along was the GT pack, and this was like one question, but I think it could be applied to other agencies. And it talked about, does GT pack, do they mentor non-citizens? And if you fill out the form and they have an application that they give you before you become their client, and you also have an application that you get, or a form that you get with score. So if they ask you those questions, then, you know, I'm not sure, I haven't seen their application, but if they ask those questions, then, you know, you just answer accordingly, but I haven't seen any of those kinds of questions that I'm familiar with. And if you would like to add in terms of your agencies providing any kind of marker for citizens and non-citizens and legal resident, if you want to add something to it.
On the business side, if you want to get a loan, I don't know that much on the SBA, but you do have to be a permanent resident.
So if you apply for loan, then you have to be a permanent resident.
On the business side.
On the business side, not necessarily a citizen.
You have to, yeah, you don't have to be
Right,
a citizen,
okay.
but you do have to have a green card. You have to have a permanent resident.
To qualify for a loan.
Qualify, that's one of the eligibility.
Okay, all right. Anything else you would like to add?
For us, you can be an I-9, so you don't have to be a citizen of the United States, nor do you have you'll be a resident on a work visa, and that's acceptable for us.
That is acceptable. Well, that opens up a whole new set of entrepreneurs. All right. So those were some of the questions. Slieta, would you like to add something, or there's a yes?
So on the certification side for WOSB, you do have to be a U.S. citizen to apply.
And I think the same is true for GMSDC. Because I've been through that process.
Legal resident alien cards,
Right.
as well as, birth certificate, passports, U.S. citizenship.
All right. So you can just. So we have one last item that we would like to present to all of you, and this is a success story, and I would like to have Slieta introduce her because she is our client. There you go.
Okay guys, so this young lady who's coming up, Laura Moray. I hope I pronounced the last name correctly. I met her, I believe, last August, and she came into the office, and everyone comes in with great ideas. Everyone does. And so I'm like, tell me the idea. So, because she kept going, I'm like, what is it about? What is it? And she's like, it's called the JJ. And I'm like, okay, I need to close the store now. And I'm not going to go on about it because she knows her business best. It's a tech company. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of how far she's gotten with it. And I'll let her come up and talk to you about it.
Hi guys, how are you? I'm so honored to be here. I started the JJ trainer from just an idea of one of my children telling me, Mom, you need more class. So I did not have a background in technology at all. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I needed to do something that was going to last forever. So technology was where I went. That's how I came up with the JJ trainer mobile app. The name of my company is Love and Legacy Enterprises, and we're a holistic company that is geared towards using technology with medicine, holistic living, sustainable living, so that you can care for yourself at home. The doctor should be second in our mind. So we're trying to reduce STDs, we're trying to gain knowledge and education to about 500 million people I want to educate on how to treat your bodies right, how to make sure that you're doing what you need to do at home, and we start with the reproductive area first. So the first app is coming out is obviously for women, the second one is for men, the last one is for teens. This app is amazing. It's your best friend. It's going to track, monitor, record. You can share STD test results. You can make sure that, excuse me, your period is being tracked. You can integrate your current period tracker into it. You can find a testing center. You can get treated. can get education, you also get a personal trainer, and she learns you. Her name is Love. Love is gonna be your best friend. She's going to be the one that tells you, hey, you need to take your vitamins. You didn't eat right today, or you need to change your diet completely. What we realize is what we eat is what we end up as. Usually sick if we're not eating the right stuff, people. So the app is going to be out, late spring 2019 this year, very soon. It is free to download. So we're making sure that this is going to be something that's available for everybody. We're going to start locally here in the Southeast. We're going to end up international by next year. So what we're trying to do is get people aware, get us talking. Let's start talking about our bodies, start caring for ourselves at home first. Use your doctor as your second expert, because you should be the expert of you. And get you educated and get you comfortable sharing STD test results. My goal by the end of this year into 2020 is to open an STD center. And I did all this because my kids are grown now and I have nothing else to do. This is where I'm at now. Slieta she was the person that I would say I manifested, because I stood score up for 3 years. I made appointments upon appointments upon appointments and never showed. It was inconvenient. I even did the online webinars, never showed, until I found her. And how I found her is I decided to go to the SCORE website and look at all the people's profiles, read what they have going on. She's who stood out. And like she mentioned, I met her in August of last year. Now she's basically I guess I would say my business confidant and my partner in a lot of things that we do. Like we have a lot of things that we have, women's uniting type stuff, networking. We have a lot of ideas alike. So utilize SCORE. I didn't think at first it was a good thing. I thought it was a waste of time until I met them. So now I have resources open to me like beyond my imagination. I'm getting an app out this year, and by next year I'm going to be known everywhere. The JJ trainer. Yes, and I have business cards if you guys want some.
Yes, please meet with her before you leave. It's such a great product, and I'm looking forward to it. We're getting ready to wrap up, but before we do, I want to have Ms. Kimberly Knight share a little bit about the Georgia landscape, up-and-coming Georgia industries, and just some information from the Georgia Department of Economic Development that would be useful.
I'm just going to stand up and see for me to some of us walk around and when I talk because I feel like what we do sometimes in my office is kind of one of the best kept secrets, and it should not be. We are, again, the agency that markets Georgia to the world, but what that means for you in this office, in this room, is that for every company we recruit to Georgia, that could be an opportunity for you to come in and be a supplier to that company. There are so many, again, companies that are located here. I'm just going to give you a few numbers of what we in my office accomplished. We located 419 either new companies either located here or expanded here last year, 419 of them. So as businesses are growing, there are opportunities to maybe bring some of you in as suppliers may be growing. And we had 89 of those companies that located were international companies. So, we've got companies coming from all over the world who want to locate in Georgia to create jobs and investment for our citizens. And of those companies that we serve just in my division, which is Global Commerce Division of the Georgia Department of Economic Development, 1,849 of them were small businesses. What does that assistance look like? It looks like similar to what happens with SCORE. Someone calls me and they have an issue, they have a need, they have whatever it is that they have from a small business perspective. And my job is to direct you to the right resource. Like I said, many of them are in this room. A success story, we have several success stories, but a lot of them are unsung because there's what might be considered small successes. One of the major things for me is when a company comes to me or calls me and says, I don't know what to do. I have an idea, I don't know where to begin. And then I can rattle off to them a litany of resources that directs them to the right place. That's a success story for me. But another one that I have is an actual literal one. Is a company called me, a budding entrepreneur called me several months ago. She was already working in real estate, but she had an opportunity to buy a business. And it was a business that she'd never been part of. She was in real estate, but she wanted to she had an opportunity to purchase a salon that she was already going to, and the person was going out of business. She said, I just don't even know, I don't know anything about this business. I don't know where to start. I said, well, here are the places that I would go first. First of all, education is so key, it's vital. It is key to anything that you're doing. I don't care what it is, you need to educate yourself about the industry that you're going into, who's gonna, your customer base, all that. So I sent her to the Small Business Development Center. I sent her to the Ace Women's Business Center. I sent her to SCORE. I thought she was a little far along, so I kind of knew that I should probably send her directly to SBDC because she was more than pre-venture and kind of a little bit further along in her process, and I knew a good consultant that would help her. But I initially started her off with ACE. And 6 months later, that person, I believe it was about 6 months, and I think Sandra is gone now, forwarded her to Sandra Fund. And Sandra and her team took her on, gave her an SBDC counselor, put all the resources around her that she needed to be successful in her endeavor. And she now owns Salon Honey out in, I believe it's in the North Cross area. And that's in 6 months. She went from not having that business to owning that business in the industry that she was completely not familiar with. That's what the resources in this room can do for you. They hooked her up with a lender, whatever she needed, that they were able to bring that to bear for her. Because we're all connected. We all work together. I know almost everyone at these tables. I come in, and if I don't know them by name, by who they, personally, I know them by name because I've called them and referred. So that's part of what we can do for you as a state agency. That's my job. That's what I do every day. But we're growing exponentially as a state. We have several entities, several parts of us that are useful, that can be useful to you. For the person who has a technology company, we have centers of innovation. And what those centers of innovation can do, sometimes they work more with larger companies to help them look at their technologies and how they can be more efficient and effective in what they do. But if they can't be that resource for you, they can forward you to another resource that might be helpful to you, like an ATDC. I don't know if you're familiar with ATDC at Georgia Tech. That's the technology incubator. So that's kind of what our agency can do is put you with the right resource and the state resource that is of no cost to you to help you further your inventions and further your business objectives. Who all in here maybe have a product that you could export internationally? Do you know how to go about doing that? So we have an international trade office, and that international trade office last year was responsible for $37.2 billion in Georgia-based exports. That means $32.8 billion worth of Georgia products were sold abroad. It's a huge market. It's a huge opportunity for companies who have international implications. So I just wanted you to know that we have those offices, and so does SBDC. They have a trade office. Again, alignment and making sure that you're availing yourself of these free resources that can help you, because again, the state is growing exponentially. The film industry is huge. $9.5 billion in economic impact last year. $22.7 billion in direct production spend in Georgia last year. That means $2.7 billion were spent by production companies in Georgia. That means they're hiring companies, they're spending that money here with Georgia, hopefully Georgia-based businesses. In some cases not, that's the reality. Sometimes they bring their own folks in, but in a lot of cases, a lot of Georgia companies are reaping the benefits of that. You can go on our website to figure out how to do business with the film industry. This flyer should be on your tables. I put them on the tables. I didn't have enough to disseminate throughout the room. But if you have one, leave the ones that are on the table. But they're here. My information is on the back. You can contact me about any questions you have about what we do. Again, Georgia is growing. If you're not taking advantage of what's happening in this state, trying to become a vendor, registering on the Team Georgia Marketplace, registering with the companies that are located here on their vendor websites, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Another last thing I want to talk about is making sure that you're politically astute. Understand what's happening, not just at the presidential level, that's important, but locally. Your local governments spend a lot of money. You'd be surprised how much your county and your city governments spend. I find so many people that I talk to every day, because businesses call me all day long, and I said, well, have you checked at your local community, at the city of Covington, how they're procuring, whether they have any? No, I haven't done that. Make sure that you're looking locally at the bid opportunities and the opportunities that are available in the city and county in which you live. Douglas County buys a lot of stuff. City of Austin, they have to run just like any other governmental entity does. Make sure you start home first and then work your way out. And another thing I want to also say is don't just look at what you can get from a situation. I've found so many people who have gotten business opportunities through volunteerism. There are so many opportunities to volunteer in your community, with the chamber, with just any other type of entity things that are of interest to you. Who knows that you might be working next to delivering meals to the homeless and working next to someone who has a job opportunity or has an opportunity for your business that, can translate, for you. So don't be, I don't want to say this because this is a public, it's a church. Don't be weary in well-doing. Volunteer, connect with your know what's going on in your city council, in your commission meetings. Know what's going on. All that stuff is public knowledge. You can find out who's coming to your community, when those releases are done. Make sure you're tracking. Georgia.org is our website. Georgia.org is on the flyer. We announce pretty much every company that's coming to Georgia. You can see where there are there may be implications for your business to have a play in that. We can't necessarily directly connect you, but at least you'll know who's coming to your area. And you can say, well, I have a product, maybe there's an interest. And if you don't, you can pivot perhaps what you're doing to meet what their needs are. So you can just know the needs of who's coming to your area, so you can be prepared. But again, our year in review is being printed right now, and that document will be on our website, georgia.org, and it will lay out for you all the companies that we've located, all the numbers that I've read to you. They're going to be in that report. I encourage you to peruse that document. Peruse our website. There's a wealth of information. All the resources that were mentioned today are going to be on that website, on the small business page of that website. It's a wealth of information. Take advantage of it. My number's out there. I don't have many cards with me today, but my information is printed on the back of this flyer. Just reach out to me. I'm pretty much always in the office, and I can direct you wherever you need to go. Okay, well, I have a few left, but my contact is, my name is Kimberly Knight, and my phone number, my direct line, you don't have to go through anybody to get to me, is 404-962-4831. And my email is kknight@georgiaspelledout.org. I'm always available.
Thank you so much for that, Chairman.